I'm Jason here from Spiritualbabies.net. This is a response to something that was posted on my page as a question yesterday. Tovia and I did cover some of this in a recording which is going to come out later on. But because of the content of the question and some of the conclusions that seem to maybe have been arrived at a bit early, I wanted to give my opinion on this. This is just my opinion. The writer and anyone else is free to have their opinion, but I wouldn't want people to jump to conclusions based on the answers that they've already come to, especially when those answers were arrived at in quite a short way, or through a response from a party without them testing other responses from other parties. So I'm going to read out the question and I'm going to tackle my response. I was a devout Christian for many years, earnestly seeking truth. Thankfully, God revealed His truth to my husband and me, and we have turned away from that life. My husband does not feel called to become Jewish, but we love God. Do we have a place in God's family if I'm not Jewish? Is there a name for my faith? We can't go to synagogue. We can no longer keep Sabbath, according to a rabbi I asked, based on the fact that we are not in conversion classes. I don't believe we should be keeping the feasts based on the same principles. I feel like a rejected orphan. We earnestly try to honor Hashem by keeping Shabbat, Sabbath, to the best of our abilities, the feasts, etc., but we've had to stop because we were told it could cause others in the faith to stumble if we appear to be Jewish and aren't. Insight would be welcomed and greatly appreciated. Shalom. Okay, so that was the question. I'm going to break it down as we go, but the first thing that really anyone who's in this position needs to two things. One, you need to understand that a label isn't going to help you. Putting a label on your faith isn't going to help you at all, because anyone that you speak to and then you say, I'm such and such, that's my faith, is going to have their own understanding of what that label means. As an example, if a person says to another person, I'm Jewish, they're going to instantly assume that A, you wear black and whites all the time and you have the payouts and you've got your tzitzit hanging low, or you wear regular clothes and you have a kippah, or you don't do any of those things and you just happen to be Jewish by lineage and you don't have any faith at all. The word Jewish doesn't help you at all. The word ger doesn't help you at all, Noahide doesn't help you at all, ex-Christian doesn't help you at all, and to avoid all of that, just don't use it. Unless you're in a group of people who already understand what your definitions are, but by that time, hopefully they'll already know what you do in your life and what your rules are, how you walk your life. So that's the first thing. Avoid labels, because you only have to live up to those labels, right? You get a label, you start off with a definition of what your label is, what it means, and then you try to live up to that label, and that's not you making your own choices, that's you deciding that these people are right, I'm going to do what they do, and that's not healthy at all. You have to come to your own conclusions. 2, you absolutely don't have to make your mind up about anything straight away. You can take as long as you need. There's no rush. So with those 2 things in mind, anything that comes now from my mouth, really chew over and see how you think and what you feel about things, and then come to conclusions slowly. It's no big deal. So first of all, I was a devout Christian for many years, seeking truth, and I've come away from that now. Okay, so I used to be a Christian, and now I'm not. I've come away from that now. My husband doesn't feel called to become Jewish. And that's perfectly okay. Many people leave the church and don't become Jewish for a number of reasons. I won't go into them now. Some are positive, some are very not positive. But it's okay that he doesn't feel the call to convert. It's fine. The Jewish people are called Jewish after the people who lived in the region of Judah, not because of the tribe of Judah. Those Yehudi who lived in the land that were taken into exile, their traditions and faith and the way they lived slowly became Judaism. That's where Judaism comes from. Prior to that exile, there were no Jewish people. There was Israel. And prior to Jacob, there wasn't even Israel, right? We have everyone up to Jacob was not Jewish, not part of Israel. So you're asking in the next question, do I have a place in the family of God if I'm not Jewish? Of course you do. Every human being is a unique creation, and we're all breathed into by God. He looks after us all of the time. When we're doing good, when we're doing bad, when good things happens, when good things happen or bad things happen, it's all down to God. He's deciding at any given point how things are going to play out. Our place isn't to try and join the right club so we can have a relationship with him. It's to be the right person and the best person we can, so we make our relationship with him more valuable to us. Right? He doesn't get anything from us being good people. It's not like, my stocks are up 2 points today because such and such a person helped an old lady across the road. That's not how it works. We are given the choice to be good people or bad people, and God loves the good, and we should try to do that. So everyone is part of God's family, but that doesn't always mean that we are all good people. Like any family, there are some people who are better than others, more sociable than others, more selfless than others. Some family members don't talk, don't get on. But you absolutely are a child of God, and that allows you to have a relationship with your Father in heaven. It's just the way it is. You don't have to be of a certain label to do that. Is there a name for my faith? No, because you don't even know what your faith is. When you do have a name, when you do understand what your faith is and what your boundaries are and what you are and aren't comfortable doing and the reasons why, super important to know why you do and don't do what you do. Rather than just saying, well, no, this is the rule book, I'm going to do these. Know why you are and aren't doing those things and whether you agree with those doctrines first. After that, you can say, well, this mostly fits into this box, and going forward, I can call it this. But again, as I said at the beginning, it's not really important what you call it. Next, we can't go to synagogue. We can no longer keep Sabbath according to a rabbi based on the fact that we're not going to conversion classes. All right, first of all, if you want to go to synagogue, you can absolutely go to synagogue. We go to synagogue. Many, 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 many people who aren't Jewish and aren't going to conversion classes go to synagogue. If you have a problem with the synagogue that you're attending and they won't let you go in unless you're converting, don't go there anymore. I mean, that's not the norm at all. And I'd be a little concerned about what's going on there. Go shul shopping. That's what it's called, shul shopping. Have a look around, see what other synagogues are in the area. And if you can't find any in the area, then look online. There are numerous places where you can find study and worship online that allow you to pray as a group. Rod Bryant does an awesome job with Nativ. Head over to nativ.net and you can find some fabulous teaching over there that will give you a good learning experience. It's not synagogue, but it's a good learning experience based around this synagogue experience. All right, it's good leadership, and it's right on the money. I endorse this product. But as I said, if you have other synagogues in the area, try them out. Don't be put off again by the names. Okay, so people often say, "Well, I'm not going to go to such and such a one because they believe in this." They're all different. You're not going to find any two that are the same just because of the type of synagogue that's hung over the door. You're going to find super liberal conservative, super orthodox reform. It's really odd. We have a synagogue in Dublin that's a progressive synagogue, and it's so conservative. It's unbelievable. It's lovely, But it's not at all what you'd expect it to be if you just read the literature about the group that they're associated with. So go and see what's comfortable for you, and then just keep going and see if you like it. And the only reason you shouldn't go is if you don't like it. No one... I don't understand the rabbi that would say don't come if you're not going to convert. Now, secondly, we can no longer keep Sabbath, no longer keep Shabbat because the rabbi said, because we're not in conversion. So this is two-pronged. First of all, your understanding of keeping Shabbat is going to be a million miles different to a religious Jew's understanding of keeping Shabbat. So I keep Shabbat in my way. We close down at sunset on a Friday, and we have a list of things that we are comfortable and not comfortable doing over Shabbat. For example, I don't mind sticking on the oven and heating food on Shabbat. Don't mind doing it. Light switches, not a problem for me. But I wouldn't actually light a fire. I avoid spending money if possible. We don't watch secular things on the TV. We'll try and keep the day A, relaxed as possible, B, as Bible-centric as possible, C, if we do cook, it's not going to be anything that's going to be a big labour. It's just reheating some stuff. And so we try and keep the resting element in. But that's going to be a million miles away. That would not be acceptable for a religious Jew. And I get that, it's fine. But when the rabbi says you can't keep Shabbat, he's talking about the ritual and doctrine and instruction that the religious Jew has on their Shabbat. That's a million miles. So if you want to keep the seventh day as holy and rest on that day, do it with bells on. Do it as much as you can and as well as you can. We don't do the feasts also based on the same principles. Okay, so we absolutely have a Passover celebration. We have a Hanukkah celebration, even though it's not biblical. Because we are... so we stand with Israel and we stand with the Jewish people, and we love the Tanakh and the Torah and the history in it, and the history of the Jews and the history of Israel, and we want to celebrate Passover, so we do. And sometimes we celebrate it with a whole lot of Jewish people. It's awesome. Sukkot, Shavuot. You can celebrate a feast. Absolutely, you can do that. As long as you're not, if you're not identifying as a Jewish person, then there's no harm in you enjoying... I mean, oh man, I can't even think of a comparative. Right, so on Christmas Day, sometimes we're invited out for dinner. Now, because I'm sitting at the table and sharing a special day with people, that doesn't instantly mean that people are going to think that non-Christians believe in Jesus because they're having a Christmas dinner with a group of people. So, for you to show your love and support of the Jewish people, of the heritage of your faith, if you place your faith in the Tanakh, the heritage of the Tanakh, the events in the Tanakh, if you want to remember the instruction that God gave Israel in your own way, then do that. And, don't worry so much. Just get on with it. But my biggest point would be, don't associate as a Jewish person. It's self-adoption. If you did that, you would be pushing yourself into a group of people that you don't really have any right to be part of, unless you have chosen to be a part of those people and you're making that happen. Okay, I feel like a rejected orphan. That's the saddest thing, and that's really the reason I'm doing this now. You're not an orphan. You have a spiritual physical creator who breathed life into you. You can absolutely speak to him 24/7. He's there for you right now, all of the time. Not an orphan. He's given you a fabulous life to live, that you get to choose what happens to you and how you live your life in a amazing planet and a wonderful world with air in your lungs. It's far from being an orphan for me. Now, what you might be missing is some insight and tools as to how to live that life. and some information about how to make these events happen in a way that you're comfortable doing them. Your faith life is more comfortable than in the way you live it, and you don't feel that you're stepping on anybody's toes. But a little bit of study, a little bit of work, and getting to know a wider group of people who live the similar lifestyle, and that might change. I'm sure it will. It did for me. I was exactly where you were, completely lost, didn't know what to do, didn't know who to speak to. Do I convert? Don't I convert? How do I convert? I can't convert. It's impossible to convert here. What do I do then? Am I just going to be sat on the outside? I'm not happy accepting the minimum. I want more than that. I had all of those things going on. And that was a while ago, and you find over time it's not as bad. You just have to keep looking, and you'll find that there are thousands of people in the same boat as you who are enjoying a fantastic life with their creator, with each other, and don't feel like outsiders. Now, I'm just wondering, okay, so you stopped doing all the feasts because we were told by others we could cause people to stumble if... Alright, so, right. The biggest picture of this is that a person leaves the Christian faith and they instantly identify as a Jew, so they start wearing a yarmulke, they start wearing a tzitzit and a tallis, and then one day they wander into a McDonald's and they order a cheeseburger, and people are in there and they're looking at them going, "That's I thought Orthodox Jews didn't eat cheeseburgers," right? And instantly you've made a pocket of people confused about what isn't Judaism. Now, they might go on and tell someone at work that they saw a Jew eating a cheeseburger, and that person at work may be thinking, well, I'm thinking about converting. I didn't know I could eat a cheeseburger. That's okay. That's a silly story, but it's an example of what that means. But that only happens if you identify as a Jew. Now, interestingly, there's no... the yarmulke and the tallis, these are very Jewish garbs, very Jewish wardrobe choices. And if you're not interested in conversion, then there's no reason for you to go that route. There's nothing in the Bible that says you have to wear those. The instruction for tallis was given to the sons of Jacob, given to Israel. Unless you are of the sons of Jacob, there's no reason for you to wear those. It's or you're converting, or you have a wish to be Jewish eventually, and you're in the process of conversion, however long that is. If that's not you, you don't have to do those things, and so there's no reason for a person to mistake you for a Jew unless you're telling people that you're Jewish. So I hope this helps a bit. It went on for a little bit longer than I wanted, but my real point here is that you are a human being and a creation of God, and you can absolutely have a relationship with Him in all the ways that you want to. But the boundaries with which you keep that, the boundaries which you live in when you filter that relationship, they may need some adapting. But until you've figured out what you are and aren't comfortable with, you don't have to worry about those things. Just get on with life, live a good life. And if you have further questions, if anyone watching this has got questions or they want a little bit of feedback, you can find me on Facebook and leave me a PM on there, and we can talk more. It's not a problem. All right, so I hope this helped. I hope it was clear. I really probably should have made notes. You can find my regular programming on my regular channel on YouTube, Spiritual Babies. You can find it on spiritualbabies.net, and you can find me on Facebook and Twitter and what's the other one? Instagram. I'm all over the place. Just type Spiritual Babies into Google, and you'll be affronted by all the different ways I hit my media onto the internet. So it's really good talking, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye bye.